Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought that I would maybe debunk some myths about me that have been going around since I left the WWE. I ended up on the Diva search because I had had a pretty decent career in Hollywood and I was getting really close to a lot of fantastic movies that I would get approved by, let's say, Miramax, and then the director would go a different direction. And I guess I just got a little bit, I don't know, I was getting really discouraged. So when the time came and they asked me to come in and do the Diva search, I thought, why not? I have nothing to lose. Was being in the WWE fun? You know, there were definitely some fun moments. I learned a lot. I really learned a lot about myself. I was way more, I guess, hardy than I realized, because being in the WWE, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that most people will never ever know about. Was the animosity between Carmella real? Yes, and I'll explain why. So I fancy myself a bit of a vigilante, and all the girls in the Diva search were fantastic. Everyone got along. We were all very supportive of one another, except for Carmella. So she was really being mean to a lot of the other girls, and I finally had just had enough, and I finally just told her really just shut her mouth. How did I end up working for the WWE? So this is an interesting story. I got a call from Vince McMahon, who asked me if I wanted to come back and work for the WWE. And I started out on the show SmackDown, as many of you remember. And he was really looking for someone that he kind of dubbed the Heather Locklear of the WWE. He wanted someone to come in that could stir up the pot, someone that had been on camera, had done live events, that he could trust on the microphone, could trust to do, pre-tapes. And so really, he asked and I showed up. Some of my favorite wrestlers had to be Big Show, Eddie Guerrero before he passed away, God bless his soul, and JBL too. JBL was really always very good to me. Were the women in the locker room nice to me? Okay, that's a loaded question. Most of the women in the locker room were nice to me, but you have to remember, I didn't work my way up the ranks like a lot of other people. I was training behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know that. So of course there was going to be a lot of animosity because I was taking TV time away from other people who had maybe been there longer than me. So of course there were going to be some women that I'm sure really didn't like me. I think the best part about working for the WWE was really just the travel and the fans. I mean, the fans were fantastic. I thought soap opera fans were great, but WWE fans are just relentless in the best way possible. You know, when you're a heel and you're supposed to be disliked and you're going out and people are really screaming the worst things possible at you, at first, of course, it's a little bit hard. You have to develop a massively thick skin, but you know you're doing your job, right? If people are really like cussing at you and calling you every name in the book, you know that you've become a really good heel. And for me, that was gratifying. How was Vince McMahon? Vince is a mastermind. He really truly understands sports entertainment. And yes, he's tough, really tough guy, but he's an amazing businessman and I will always have the utmost respect for him. What happened in Japan? Well, let's just get right to it. Okay, so in Japan, I had lived in Japan for about 6 months, many years prior to being in the WWE. I was very lucky. I had a lot of success in Japan. I did a ton of commercials, a lot of magazine covers, a lot of catalogs. And apparently, I don't know, some of the guys went out one night and there was like a gentleman's club and they saw this card and they brought it back and they were kind of like ribbing on me about it. And it was funny because it was a stolen photo. The interesting thing, the photo had already been stolen once before by a magazine, like this thing called V-Twin. But it was from a company called Lake Avenue that I had modeled for many times. They do swimwear and lingerie. There was nothing revealing on the photo. So of course they tried to make it seem like I worked at the club, and then people were trying to put two and two together. Oh, you lived in Japan, you must have worked there. I didn't work there. Of course they were ribbing me. At the end of the day, listen, JBL was like a big brother to me. The guys were awesome. They turned it into a bit. I let it go. It is what it is. Listen, when you're in the industry, people are going to steal your photos. And, with the internet, everything goes. So, all you can do is sue them, which I did. And I did win. They definitely had to stop using my photo. Why did I leave WWE? Ultimately, what happened? So here we go. This is the scoop, right? You hear it here first, the truth. So, as I said before, I was training behind the scenes to actually have a real wrestling match. I mean, a real wrestling match. So, Joy and I, who I adore, we had been working really, really hard. Every time that we would get to a new city, we would be, rehearsing and practicing, and I would be learning. And we had like a 7-city tour in 10 days. It was crazy. 2 stops in Hawaii, Japan, Alaska. So while we were in Japan, actually, on the way back to Alaska, I was practicing. I was supposed to grab the rope and break my fall, and unfortunately, I couldn't get to the rope. She kicked me a little hard in the stomach. It was fine. It was not her fault. I landed on my tailbone. So they thought I might have cracked it. Nothing huge. I could still walk, but it was very painful. The trainer told me to go into the men's locker room and to grab 2 ibuprofen, which I did. He told me what to do. I did it. And some ice. So when I was on the plane, on the way back to Alaska, we had more matches there, more TV to tape. I was laying across 3 seats. We were all sleeping, and I'm going to go ahead and call people out because this is a truthful video. Randy Orton decided to come up behind my chair, and he slammed into it like a linebacker so hard that I landed on the floor of the airplane. And then he said to me, "You're gonna learn," which was, I didn't understand what he was talking about. So I turned around, went back to sleep. I was awoken by someone pouring a drink in my face. So immediately I popped up, I looked up, and I saw Edge, yes, you Edge, with a partially drank drink in his hand. There was a little bit left, and it was the same color that was basically all over me. So I stood up on the airplane seat, and I was eye to eye to him. And I said, "Do you have a problem with me?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" So of course he denied it. The drink was in his hand. And so I said, "Come on, you want to fight me? Let's go. You want to be a man? Go ahead. Let's go. Let's fight me. You want to pour a drink on me?" And he kept denying it. But I know he did it. I saw the cup in his hand. So listen, at the end of the day, did I deserve it because I took 2 ibuprofen that the trainer told me to take and some ice from the guy's locker room? I don't think so. Just as a human being, just as a decent human being, you just don't do that to people. I didn't think I was better than anyone else, but I did feel like I was deserving of respect because that's what I gave to every other wrestler in that entire company. So when I got to Alaska, Shane McMahon was there. We were all getting our bags, and I was done. I just felt like I couldn't continue to be in an environment where people really had no respect for me. They had their reasons, but I don't think taking 2 ibuprofen is a reason for someone to call you names, try to physically harm you, and then pour a drink in your face. So that's the story. The unfortunate bit was that I had already been scanned for my action figure, the video game. There were a lot of other things happening. My contract never got signed because Vince wanted to own my name, Amy Weber. That was my given name. I had made a lot of, moves with that name. I had a website that was currently going. I had a lot of TV shows that I had done. I couldn't give him my name. And so that's it. I don't know. I'm sure people can weigh in and tell me what you think you would have done. But at the time, I felt like that was the best decision. I booked an airplane flight, went home, and that was the end of it. What have I been up to? Okay. Well, since leaving the WWE, I did jump back into the entertainment industry, did more movies. I produced movies. I ended up really pursuing my passion of music. I ended up becoming a Billboard recording artist and was able to collaborate with some major artists, which was fantastic. And then I ended up parlaying that into a really thriving real estate career. I'm a real estate broker. I'm with the agency. We just sold the Playboy Mansion. We sold the Spelling Mansion. Some of our guys are on $1 Million Listings. One of our creators is on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Being able to really help people with their home needs is something that I feel is really important, especially for me. Listen, being on the road with the WWE, if it teaches you nothing else, it's that it's really great to finally be sleeping in your own bed. And for me to be a part of that is priceless. Would I ever come back? Well, I always say never say never. I mean, JBL is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm so proud of him. He's such an awesome guy. He's so smart, for people that don't know. So I'm really proud. I would definitely love to be a part of that. Otherwise, I'm pretty busy doing real estate. I've got a great family. I love helping people, buy and sell homes, build wealth through real estate. So anyways, I have a lot more to share. Stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, click that bell so you get a notification every time I post a new video. And I hope you enjoyed the truth.